Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video, I will be doing my round 1 NRL tips for 2023. So I will be doing my first official NRL tipping video of 2023. Without further ado, let's get into the video. But before we get into the video, I just want to make things clarified. These are only my personal tips only. So if you disagree or agree with what tips I say will happen, just comment down below. And I'd love to hear what your tips are below, guys, as well. And I just want to give it a quick shout. I'm currently on 642 subscribers. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone who has already subscribed to the channel since the start of 2023 over the pre-season. I did struggle a bit to gain a bit of subscribers, but we finally got there. I'm fine with 642 for now. The goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers sometime in 2023. We're on the road to 700 subscribers right now. So once again, thanks to everyone. Thanks to each and every one of you who have subscribed to the channel recently, and of course for over the lifetime of the channel, which this channel's been around since 2020, but NRL since 2021. But without further ado, let's get into the very first round 1 NRL tipping video. And kicking off with the very first game of 2023, the season opener is between last year's grand finalists, the Parramatta Eels, and the team that finished outside the top 4 for the first time since 2014, the Melbourne Storm. These two teams go into 2023 on different paths. Parramatta Eels are determined to finish back inside the top 4, and at least with majority of everyone are putting Parramatta Eels to finish in the bottom part of the top 8, or just finishing in 9th in general, while the Melbourne Storm are reclaiming to finish inside the top 4, as they just finished outside the top 4 in last year's season since 2014. So this is going to be an interesting clash between the two. Both of these teams have also got some key injuries for the first couple of rounds. For example, for Eels, we've got Sean Lane out with a broken jaw. Ryan Madison is suspended, and Bailey Simonson with a shoulder injury. They'll all be out for a couple of rounds. While Melbourne have got Ryan Paffenhauser out still with his knee injury, returning from the United States a couple of weeks ago. He'll be out for at least 8 weeks at this stage. While unfortunately that Melbourne have lost. They have lost Dean Elimika, who suffered a unfortunate season-ending knee injury or ACL during the pre-season. So it's very unfortunate that they've lost a young up-and-comer winger. So it's interesting who'll go into this game to win. In the last 10 encounters between the Eels and Storm, they have both got 5 wins each, which includes Eels winning the last 5 out of 6 games, including 4 straight. So Melbourne have not beaten Parramatta since 2020. And also another fact, Melbourne have lost 3 of their 4 games at CommBank Stadium. So Melbourne have not beaten Parramatta in Sydney since 2016, or they haven't beaten them at CommBank or Bankwest at all yet. But that could happen this week. But for this game, for the very first game of the round, this is going to be a surprise for many people, and some people may disagree, but that's fine. I'm going Parramatta to win 1-12 by 4 points. Now I know, yes, Melbourne have been undefeated in round 1 since 2003 when Craig Bellamy came in, but that could change this round, and as this is Bellamy's final year at Melbourne Storm. But I know he also got some key injuries out for the first couple of rounds, but I think Melbourne have lost a lot of experience in the back row with the Felice Kafisi, Brandon Smith, and the Bromwich brothers. They got Tarek Sims, but it seems like he might be touch and go for this round. But anyways, I'm going Parramatta to win 1-12 by 4 points with a scoreline of 18-14. our first of 2 Friday games. The first game kicking off at 6 p.m. here in New South Wales, 8 p.m. over there in New Zealand, is between the New Zealand Warriors and the Newcastle Knights. Both of these teams had very disappointing seasons in 2022, especially the Newcastle Knights, as they finished in 7th place in 2021 before falling down into 14th position in 2022, while the Warriors are returning to New Zealand for a full season for the first time since 2019, and they'll be kicking off their first home game at Sky Stadium, which they haven't been there since 2019 of round 18, where they defeated the Cronulla Sharks by 1 point. I believe it was 1918. And this will be the Knights' first time playing at Sky Stadium down there in Wellington as well. In the last 10 encounters between these two teams, the Knights have had the dub over the Warriors, as the Knights have won 6 of the past 10 encounters between the two, which includes winning the last 4 out of 5 games between the two clubs. The Knights will be playing the Knights will be playing back in New Zealand for the first time since 2019. And it says here they've only won 2 of their past 14 games in New Zealand. That is a terrible record for Newcastle Knights, winning 2 games out of 14 in their past 14 encounters. That's ridiculous. But this is going to be, believe this will be another close game between the two. Now, the Warriors have recruited very well. Recruited very well. They've recruited players like Dylan Walker, Morata Nirakora, Mitch Barnett, Charles Nicoll-Clockster, and Tadare Martin. As the Knights have also signed, they've signed Tyson Gambles, which he's going to be battling the spot with Kurt Mann, Lachlan Miller at fullback, and they've also got Jacob Hastings from the Newcastle Knights as well. Sorry, from the West Tigers. But they have lost big forward David Clement to the West Tigers. But anyways, in this game, I believe it's in New Zealand. It's Warriors' first game in New Zealand for a full season. I know they returned to New Zealand last year, but it's their first time back in Wellington since 2019. So I think Warriors will get the job done here, winning 1-12 by 10 points with a scoreline of 26-16. So Warriors to go over in this match, while the Knights will be losing their first game of the season. And the final Friday game, which kicks off at 8 p.m. here in New South Wales, or 7:50 or whatever, is between the back-to-back defending premiers and minor premiers, the Penrith Panthers, coming up against the Brisbane Broncos at Bluebet Stadium. The Panthers go into 2023 as looking to become the first team since the Parramatta Eels back in the 1980s to win 3 premierships, or a triple threat as they pretty much call it, to be the first team to win 3 premierships in a row in the NRL era, while the Brisbane Broncos are looking to bounce back to finish inside the top 8 for the first time since 2019, after they were in the top 8 for most of last year, and then the back end of the season, it's like fish flopped out of water and went downhill, finishing in 9th place. Unbelievable. In their last 10 encounters, the Panthers have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning 4 straight, winning 4 of their last 5 games. So Brisbane have not beaten Penrith since 2019, and get this, the Broncos have not won at Bluebet Stadium or won in Penrith since 2009. It's been 14 long years since Brisbane have won in Penrith. That's shocking. Unbelievable. But for this game, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I think Panthers will be in it. I mean, Panthers, even though they've lost the big key players in Aparai Coruscant and Valami Kikau, I think they're just going to think in their minds, no, we've got very strong players in Olive Gilder and Mitch Kenny to replace them. But I think Panthers will easily win this game. I think they'll win 13 plus Panthers. I think they'll win by 14 points with a scoreline of 30-16. Our first of 3 Saturday games kicks off at 3 p.m. Down there at Manly at at 4 Pines Park between the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Both of these two teams go into this year as looking to finish inside the top 8, with Manly mainly trying to get over their saga from last year after the Pride Round saga and the 7 players standing down for that game. They did not win one single game after the Pride saga, but Manly go into this year as looking as a powerful team to finish inside the top 8 most likely. We saw what they did in the pre-season challenge, beating the Rabbits by 2 points. I know that one doesn't really count, but it still counts. And then shockingly beating the Roosters. Excuse me. But they also had no Cherry Evans or Tommy Turbo. Speaking of Tommy Turbo, he will be lining up for the first time since I think round 11 in 2022. He'll line up for the first time in 2023 in round 1 for Manly. While the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, everyone's been predicting them to finish inside the top 8, or about 50-50. I'm one of those people. I think Dogs could finish inside the top 8. I'm sure what we saw in the trials was, alright, they did beat the Raiders, but they looked meh against the Sharks, but I'll get to them soon. But Sharks have signed a lot of great players. A lot of great players have gone to the Bulldogs for 2023, such as Reid Marnie and Falami Kikau, and also Josh Reynolds. Seems like he will be getting the starting 14 most likely, but we'll wait and see how this will go for them. In the past 10 encounters between these two rival clubs, Manly have been too dominant over the Bulldogs, as Manly have won 8 of the past 10 encounters, which includes winning 7 straight between 2018 and last year, with Bulldogs finally beating Manly in round 25 last year, 21-20 at Accor Stadium. And the Bulldogs have not won at 4 Pines Park or Brookvale since 2016. So Bulldogs are looking to finally end their losing streak at Lotto. But for this game, I think this is going to be another great game, but I'll have to give it to Manly. I think Manly will easily win this game. I think they'll win by 10 points, winning 1-12. I reckon Tommy Turbo in his return game, I think he will score a double. I'll be amazed if that's the case. Well, not too surprised, but we'll wait and see. But Manly to win this game by 10 points. Our second Saturday clash, it kicks off at 5:30 p.m, 4:30 up there in Queensland, and it's between the North Queensland Cowboys and the Canberra Raiders at Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there in Townsville. Both of these teams go into 2023 as to try and make the top 8 again, but with the Raiders first. Now, everyone's been tipping the Raiders to finish outside the top 8. And unfortunately, I have tipped them to finish in 11th. I think might fall. I think they'll be the most likely team to fall out of the top 8 this year. I mean, still early. We saw what happened in the pre-season trials. I know it's only trials, but it could affect. Trials can affect of how the Raiders can go. In fact, the loss of Adam Elliott is really hard for them. And Joseph Tarpany, who's meant to be the best front rower in the game, or second rower, I think he's going to do great again this year. But without Adam Elliott there, I think it's going to be a bit different. But while with the Cowboys, with a shocking result in 2022 when they finished in third, no one expected the Cowboys to finish in the top 4, even the top 8. Well, I believe Cowboys will replicate that, and they will finish inside the top 4, most likely. Now, going into this year, Cowboys haven't really recruited anyone. They've really gained like James Tarmo as experience as he returns to the club, as he was at the Tigers for the last couple of years. In the past 10 encounters between the two clubs, the Cowboys have got the upper hand, as they have won the last 6 out of the 10 encounters, which includes winning 4 of their last 5 against the Raiders. The Raiders have not won in Townsville since 2020, as they have a 1-3 record up there in Townsville since the Queensland Country Bank Stadium has been around. So they've got 1 win, 2 losses. But for this game, I think it's going to be pretty obvious. I will back up the Cowboys to win 13 plus. It's a bit hard to it's a bit tough to beat the Cowboys in Townsville, so I reckon Cowboys will win 13 plus to win by 18 points with a scoreline of 34-16. And the final game, rounding up Super Saturday, is the semi-final rematch between the Cronulla Sharks and the South Sydney Rabbitohs, my team, my boys, at PointsBet Stadium. Going into 2023, the Sharks have looking to replicate after having a great season in 2022. Although bid for soft draw, they did very well in 2022, but they fumbled out in back-to-back finals games between the Cowboys and then the Bunnies, which they will go on to lose 38-12 to the Rabbits. Well, with the Rabbitohs, we have not recruited anyone at all, but Rabbitohs are looking to be a dominant team after making a fifth straight preliminary final for 5 years in a row now, or 5 seasons in a row. But I reckon we're going to be a dominant team this year. In the past 10 encounters between these two clubs, they have both won each 5 games each, with the Rabbitohs winning 3 of the last 4 games between the two. Now, this will be the first time that the Rabbitohs and Sharks will be playing each other twice in the regular season for the first time since 2013. I know 2015 and last year they played each other twice, but that was with the finals, and they played each other once in the regular season in 2015 and 2022. But for this game, I think this is going to be the game of the round, no doubt. Or one of the games of the round. The other one could be Eels and Melbourne, but I think this might be the game of the round. But this was really tough to pick. Now, the Bunnies have got a terrible record at PointsBet Stadium in recent encounters. The last time we won at PointsBet Stadium was 9 years ago in 2014. But for this game, I think we're going to get the dub here. I reckon Rabbitohs will win 1-12 by 6 points, with a scoreline of 24-18. I think this is going to be a great encounter. The Sharks are going to look for their revenge against us, and well, I think it's just going to be an amazing game. Now, there are murmurs that Nico Hines is out injured with a calf injury. I can't say this is official. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I can't see any official news about it, but if it does, I'll let you guys know when I do the Rugby League live series later in the week. But anyways, Rabbitohs to win. Obviously got to back my team for round 1 to win by 6 points. And now, for the first time ever, the Dolphins will be playing their first game of the NRL against the Sydney Roosters at Suncorp Stadium. Most likely going to be close to a sellout. The Roosters are going into this year to finish inside the top 4, with most people putting them in the top 4, even first place, to win the premiership and making the grand final. But we'll just have to wait and see. While the Dolphins are entering their first season for 2023 under Super Coach Wayne Bennett. Now, Dolphins have got a bit of an aging squad, so I think Dolphins will go all right in their inaugural season. I'll be surprised if they do win their first couple of games of this year, or first couple of rounds of the season at the start. But there is no stats between these two. The only thing they're going here is they play for the Arthur Benson Cup, who played for the Dolphins and the Roosters back in the day, which I think that's really respectful. But for this game, sorry for the Dolphins fans, I will be tipping the Roosters to win 13 plus. Although I love to see you guys win your first game, I don't think it's not going to happen yet. So Roosters win 13 plus by 16 points with a scoreline of 22-6. And the final game, ending off round 1 in a bit of a boring fashion, is probably going to be the shittest game of the round as well. It's between the West Tigers and the Gold Coast Titans. Both of these teams finished in the bottom 4 last year, which both disappointed, with the Tigers claiming their first ever wooden spoon ever since they've entered the comp in the 2000. while the Gold Coast Titans only just avoided the spoon last year, finishing in 13th. Now, I'll say both teams have recruited good. The Tigers have signed the players of Isaiah Papali'i, which is a great one for them. They've also signed David Clemmer from the Knights and John Bateman up there from the Super League. While the Titans have signed players like Sam Verrills from the Roosters, Kieran Foran from Manly, got their spine together, and Aaron Schropp as the centre. But both teams have recruited well. But the question is, who's the better team between the two to win this game? Well, in their past 10 encounters, the Titans have been the more dominant team, as the Titans have won 8 of the past 10 encounters against the West Tigers, which includes winning 4 of the past 5 games against the Tigers. So the Tigers' last win against Gold Coast was up there in Tamworth in 2019 when they won 30 points to 14. Now, in recent times, the last 3 games, the scores have been higher scoring, with the exception of last year's game, which was pretty shit. 8-6 have been decided by 8 points or less. But for this game, I know Titans have got a great record. So the Titans have got a great record at Campbelltown. But for this encounter, I'm going to tip the West Tigers to win 1-12 by 8 points. I couldn't really give a fuck about this game. It's the most boring game of the round. I could be proven wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm only going to Tigers because it's their home game, and well, Titans suck in Sydney. But anyways, this will conclude my tipping video. Anyways, everyone, this will conclude my 2023 NRL Round 1 tipping video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We are growing this channel to 700 subscribers, so I hope we can get there at least by mid-March. About by the 15th of March or so. Anyways, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down your tips if you agree or disagree. I'll love to hear your tips down in the comments down below, in the comments section below. But anyways, everyone, for the rest of the week, I will be doing my Rugby League Live 4 series. So that will be returning this year. That videos will be out between Wednesday and Friday, as I've got a lot of stuff happening throughout this week in my personal life as well. And I will also be doing the Super League tipping video tomorrow as well. But without further ado, I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. Take care.